to what you're experiencing at this moment. Welcome to that. I'm your host, Bonte Varapano, and this is a live stream concerned with the truth. And this is the this is what is not easy to describe, easy to talk about, easy to explain. This is a new beginning, a fresh start, a new experience, at least as it is for me. If you're coming from a different perspective, if this is not a new experience, if you've been here before, you've done this before, it's the same old thing, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to let your parents know about Bonte Varapano and his teachings. But if this is a new experience for you in the way that it is for me, then you don't have to do anything right now but kind of be here now. I'm in Bodh Gaya, India. I've been going through all kinds of sufferings, all kinds of difficulties. I don't know about you all, but there's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of suffering. There's anxiety, there's depression, there's non-practical, complicated thinking. It seems like moment after moment, life after life, there's another trap. It seems like I go up the hill, I'm feeling good, and that's when I know I'm crashing down, I'm falling apart, and it takes a lot of energy to keep going on this path, to keep staying in the monk life, to keep practicing seriously instead of just kind of sinking in misery and horribleness. Now, you might say, well, that's the time for me to give Bonte some encouraging words. Those words probably won't be very encouraging for me. But when you drop your ego and when you listen to these talks and then you share with me that these talks have benefited you, that really does give me a lot of motivation, okay? But telling me to keep my chin up, why don't you keep your chin up? Why don't you mind your own business? Okay, so that's very much what this live stream and what this talk is kind of going to be about. It's going to be about you, the person who's watching this, minding their own business, and kind of a Buddhist perspective or a Buddhist take on that. And Buddhism is a really unique spirituality, belief system, complicated compilation of nonsense words and phrases, a lot of stuff. I mean, if you just tried to put all the Buddhism into your head, your head would be full of a lot of nonsense. But what does the Buddha teach? That's a good question, right? What does the Buddha teach? And if you want to be free, you need to shut up, first of all. You need to stop thinking about things. You need to stop talking about things. You need to shut your mouth. Definitely that. You have to bring up a sense of respect and reverence for the profundity. I know I use that word sometimes, but bear with me. The profundity of this experience right now. Keep your fingers crossed that in recognizing the profundity of this experience right now, you become completely enlightened, completely free, and you say, hey, Bonte, I gotcha. You're my student now. Fingers crossed. Everybody's got their fingers crossed like that, me most of all. It's probably not going to happen. But anyway, you shut your mouth, okay? You stop playing your little games. You stop doing your things, okay? You sit down, you shut up. No more multitasking, no more looking at a lot of different things. And then you bring up a sense of intensity or intimacy about the seriousness or the reality of this experience happening right now. And that shut your mouth, don't get me cursing now, but that shut your little mouth means that you're not doopy bopping. You're not whoopie topping. You're not going from thing to thing. You're not taking the space, the silence, and then it's time for me to go over there. time for you to do something else. It's time for you to sit down and shut your mouth and not do something else. Otherwise, get the heck out of here. What do you think you're doing? Because the Buddha teaches us that the cause of the suffering is the desire. The cause of suffering, and we can call it desire, we can also call it a kind of grasping, okay, a kind of attachment, a kind of clinging, a seeking clinging, okay? So you have to stop that to the degree that you can to understand Buddhism. And this is where the respect, this is where the humbleness, this is where the kind of really being open to shutting your mouth and sitting down and not giving your opinion or not giving your commentary about things comes in naturally. Because think about it this way, right? How do you live your life? How do I live my life? How does all these people live their lives? Well, we've got a name, we've got a place where we live, and we want to feel pleasurable. And we do not want to feel painful. We are seeking out pleasantness. We're seeking away from unpleasantness. We're trying to get money and not lose it. We're trying to be recognized and not be seen in a lower way. We are in a constant mechanism, a constant machine of seeking after, trying to get and trying to get rid of. Is that not the case? Is that not only how you live your life in general, but is that not the overall context, social, cultural, economic context in which you live your life? So when you look at that, when you perceive that, whoa, that's a humble situation, right? There's nothing to be arrogant in there. Now that's if you're someone who has faith in the Buddhist teachings. I suppose in some way my role as a bonte varapano is to help you have faith in the Buddhist teachings. But, don't blame me, and I'd rather be thanked than blamed. But either way, that's just, when you do that, when you express blame, when you express thanks, make it from a sharing of your experience rather than making a judgment. This is my experience. I watched bonte and I felt this. I watched bonte and I felt that. And leave a comment down below. I love to see those comments from the people who join in because, I'm speaking into the ether. I'm speaking into the mysterious realm of everything. You stop it right now. Play that game, okay? So when we feel that, we want to talk, we want to start multitasking, we want to, like I said, we want to get our jibbawas. We want to go down to Boomba Town. We want to go down to the Crip-Crip-Doo. That's fine that we feel that, but we don't have to go in that direction. Especially, notice, I'm here in one of the poorest regions of India. I'm getting bubble gut. Okay, I'm getting sick in the gut. It's hot, it's sweating. You go one day, I only have so many robes. So you go one day, the moment you walk out the door, 15 minutes, you smell like you can't even imagine this stench. And it's not like there's AC everywhere. Okay? You got to hand wash the clothes. The people around here, well, what do you think? They smell like perfume? They probably stink too, but I'm smelling my own stink. People are dirty, people are hot, sweaty, people are looking for money. So notice the kind of situation that you're in now. Is it a comfortable temperature? Does your body stink like a pile of garbage? You don't even know what that smell is, right? Fermented garbage. Is your body in pain? Because if you get that bubble gut or you get some sickness, your body is going to be in pain. So when that silence comes up there, you're getting punched, or it's like you're in that arm wrestling match and you realize, whoa, wait a minute. I don't have that strength. I don't have that power. But you don't give up at that time. You keep working. You keep pressing through. You want to learn about arm wrestling, don't you? You want to know about Buddhism, don't you? You want to be a truth holder, don't you? Isn't that what you're interested in? Or are you interested in ice cream? Do you want diabetes? I don't want diabetes. Doesn't mean I didn't have some cake. But overall, are you serious about this? Are you interested in this? And when that silence comes along, you've got to, in this context, you've got to eat silence. You've got to chew the gum of silence. This is a good one, okay? When we have that experience, that silence experience, that it's a kind of silence where there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do. It's a kind of silence where it's not about understanding anything, and it's also not about not understanding anything. There's an alreadiness to that silence, and far too often we're trying to avoid the alreadiness. And that means that we're avoiding the recognition. The recognition of what? Well, what if we called this reality? What if we called this the truth? Freeze, red light, green light, yellow light. You want to get arrested? Stop. Stop. Or do you want to get cancer? You want to get a major sickness? Something like that? It's all going in through the traumas and the stresses and all these kinds of things. So learn how to stop, not by thinking about it, but by stopping. Stop now. Stop now or unsubscribe or get out of here. We've got all these, 30-second fancy pants coming in here. Get out. Stay out. Who are these people? You want to be here or you don't. And if you're here, you practice seriously. Okay? And those people who don't and still want to be here, great. We don't need to multitask. We don't need to drink that whole bottle of Mountain Dew. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. We don't need to go to sleep. I don't need to go to school. I don't need to go to sleep. What are you going to do about it? And this is where we're practicing this with our meditation. We're practicing this in our heart. We're practicing this with the silence. I don't need to wake up at this time. I don't need to go to sleep at this time. Now, the question here, is that true? Do we need to do this? Do we need to do that? What does it mean to need to do something? What does that mean? Perhaps we have some wrong ideas about this. Perhaps our ideas about needing, are based on wrong view and a wrong understanding. A view of someone, a view of some place, a view of some situation, a view of some particular time. Where is the need in this moment? What do you need to do? What does it mean to need something? What does it mean to need someone? What does it mean to need to do something? It means experiencing with grasping and attachment. It means being controlled by desire and fear. It means being an agent of Mara. It means being a submitter to greed, anger, and delusion. Because who are you? What are you? What is this? Okay? Is this a a Kluba Wooba N64 story? Are you Super Mario? Wee-hee! Triple jump? Boop, beep, wee-hee! Flip. And you have to learn about that for yourself. I'm not here trying to make you disassociate from the story of your life, but I'm saying if I'm inviting you to look with me at the direct experience right now. I don't have any face tattoos. So the story of my life, the story of my identity, the story of my ego, my real true person, a real true story, where is it? And when we bring up something like that and then we cut off the places of attack and defense, so we go down the middle way, what's the deal? It's a strange situation. And this is where the silence becomes revelatory, the revelation of silence, the revelation of a direct experience of life at this moment. The kingdom of God, the kingdom of truth. Where is tomorrow? Where is outside? Where is yesterday? Okay? Where is the mala that I was given by a Zen master, handmade 10 years ago? Where's that at? Did it dissolve? Did it turn into nothingness? Is it possible in any way to find that, to track that down? It both is and isn't. It both was and wasn't. Where is it at? It's at no place. It's at no time. Because it is not something. It's a thought, or it's a phenomena. Okay? It's a sight, it's a sound, it's a feeling in the body. So the path of Buddhism is very much, we could say, a practice of direct looking. A practice of direct looking, a practice of direct experiencing. And this is for James, this is for the baby ones. And this isn't for you as an individual to develop, oh, I've got it, I've got a spiritual ego, I'm a spiritual person. That's not what this is for. It's not for anything. It's not from anyone. It is not something. Whatever story is told is shit. And it's true that you need to learn how to eat shit. But eating your story, just like eating a salad, okay, doesn't mean that you bathe in the salad. It doesn't mean you get a tattoo of the salad on your face. It doesn't mean that you blend that salad down into a liquid and then intravenously inject it into your veins. The story that I believe, the story that I believe, the story that I believe. Stop it. What happens when you eat something? It means that thing comes about, that food, that phenomena. You chew it up into little pieces, you swallow it, your body digests it and boil it, it becomes shit. That's eating something. Now, after it becomes shit, what do? Smear that all over your body and tell everyone, look, I'm believing this, I'm believing that. I. Or do you learn how to flush the toilet, to detach, or even better yet, compost those feces? But we compost those feces to plant blackberry bushes. I want blackberries that have been nurtured with human feces. I want mangoes that have mango trees that have grown by the feces of a community, of a spiritual community. Eating a vegan or a freegan diet. That's the other thing. We can be freegan. Maybe we do go to pick up carcasses on the road. I don't know. But anyway, it means that we don't reject our thoughts and our stories about ourselves or about the Illuminati, about the microchips. And it also means we don't attach to those, the conspiracies, the people, what they think about us, their plans that they have for us, which is, think about your own mind and how little you're able to manage yourself or understand yourself or look at yourself, right? You can barely do anything with yourself. It's a nightmare, okay? Now think about those other people that you think are negative or et cetera, and they're looking at you. They don't have the space for it. Okay? Negative people, we're even good people. We're trying to do a good thing and we can't keep up with ourselves. We can't be mindful of our mind and organize things and plan things out. You think the evil reptile people are able to manage, thinking about you? No, come on, it's ridiculous. Okay? This is it. This is the biggest conspiracy ever. The idea that I'm going to go over there when I'm finished with this, okay, is the biggest conspiracy ever. Same for you. The idea that you are inherently going to take another breath after this breath, that's the conspiracy. So mindfulness is based in the space of not following desire inherently. Mindfulness is based in not taking as an ultimate principle that because you feel a habitual energy towards this or you feel a habitual energy away from that, that's how you go. And when you can be aware rather than in this state of habitual energy, habitual cause and effect, that's mindfulness. Okay? And detachment is the ability, the capacity to really exercise that mindfulness. And so even when the big experience, the tumor, the cancer, the sickness comes up, you can detach from that. You can detach from phenomena that are even bigger than your mindfulness. That's the power of detachment. The silence is the penetrator of the mind of greed, anger, and delusion. So you show up here, I show up here with a big, fat mind of greed, anger, and delusion. A big, fat, rotten mind. A corpse mind. Maggots in that brain. And then through the inspiration of, and the good conditions of being concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, to do all kinds of good deeds with mindfulness and detachment, the penetrative light of this experience can clear out those parasites, brain parasites, secret brain parasites, okay? Can clear out the secret parasites in the body. What do you all think we're here to do? We're here to clear out the secret parasites that are within the brain and the body. Is the audio quality okay? Is the video quality okay? Is it enough? The silence is not an invitation to double over with the habit energy. That's how our mind is a lot of the time. But it's not with awareness, it's with reactivity. Stop it! Stop it! So what is it like to practice generosity? Really, technically, generosity and doing good deeds and bhavana are all basically the same mechanism that we're utilizing, okay? And you can call it doing good deeds, okay? The mindfulness is the meditation, the detachment is the generosity. So that's the dana. And keeping precepts as well. Keeping precepts as well. The dana, sila, bhavana. But because you and I are full of these secret brain parasites, okay, of greed and anger and delusion, non-practical, complicated thinking, and we're not living with the Buddha, we're not living with Amitabha, we're not living with the Bodhisattva of compassion, and we have these karmic difficulties and blockages and situations, right? So because of all that, we have to have some needle points, some direction points. So we call it dana, sila, bhavana, all right? What is it like to do that? What is it like to emphasize and take seriously in your own life to serve, to make donations, to volunteer? Why would that be so important? Why is it important? What is it like to consider about and reflect upon the precepts? 5 precepts. If you don't know what the 5 precepts are, what is it like to practice meditation? And where does that bring you? Where does that come from, and where does that bring you towards? Generosity, virtuous conduct, and trying to work with this mind in a way that's not about getting what you want and avoiding what you don't want, in a way that's not about being frustrated, being upset, in a way that's not about any kind of non-practical, complicated thinking, even this non-practical, complicated thinking. How interested are you in that? To be free, not to have more pleasure. This is the big problem that we have in Buddhism, is that as a Buddhist, the Buddha didn't teach us to try to get to heaven. The Buddha taught us to detach from phenomena, to detach from pleasure, to detach from pain, to detach from neutrality, to infuse our whole body and mind, the whole ecosphere of the present moment experience with mindfulness and detachment. To perceive reality directly, as the Buddha taught in the Bahia Sutta, very famous enlightening sutta. Train yourself thusly. In what is seen, there is only what is seen. In what is heard, there is only what is heard. In what is thought, there is only what is thought. In what is experienced in the body, there is only what is experienced in the body. That means we're not conceiving about what happens. We're not assuming up. We're not making up. We're not adding on to what happens. We're not making a story about it. And there's also no pursuing or avoiding in that. It's just the way that it happens to be at this moment, and experiencing that. This is a time, this is an environment, this is a space in which we dare to experience that. We dare to experience about that. We dare to believe in that. You got to believe in something. I believe in Buddhism. But we'll know about Buddhism, or we will know about the path of Buddhism. We'll know about generosity to the degree that we practice generosity. We'll know about the precepts to the degree that we practice with the precepts. We'll know about meditation to the degree that we practice meditation. It takes sacrifice. It takes seriousness. It takes renunciation. It takes community. How are you going to do it without community? And this is when the natural state of being absorbed into the present moment, as they call it, that's not really true, but absorbed into having a greater capacity to understand the profundity of this present moment. Because the profundity of this present moment is very, very similar. It's just as profound as if you were a trained warrior on the battlefield, face to face, pirate versus samurai, whatever. That's this moment. That's always this moment. And if you're in a moment like that, think about how profound and how much grit it takes to be the pirate against the samurai and to be generous. On the battlefield, life and death, to be the samurai against the pirate and to be following 5 precepts. You don't kill. To be the Mongol onlooker, the barbarian horde, practicing mindfulness, practicing to walk in mindfulness, to breathe in mindfulness at that moment, on that battlefield, spontaneously, in the midst of it. Think about what that takes. Our path also takes like that. It tastes like that. We just can't notice it because we fill our face with too much stuff that's not concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. It's not concerned with the path. It's not concerned with enlightenment. It's not concerned with mindfulness and detachment. It's not concerned with the truth. So my blessing, my good fortune, is that I get to have this opportunity to be a monk and to be trapped in this concern with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, so that I can continue developing and continue on this path. And you, as a watcher, as a supporter, as a follower, as a student, see where you fit in. You are enabled, and you enable me to continue on this path, which enables you to continue on this path. It's all about community. It's It's the bones of Buddhism. The bones of Buddhism is the Sangha. And the Sangha is a fourfold community. So we are planting seeds for a new community. This is not a self-help channel. This is not a, as long as I'm a monk, this is the approach that I have the honor to take. But there's nothing for sale here. This is the real deal. You need a place to live? No problem. You need food to eat? No problem. You need help getting out there? No problem. So you should also develop this kind of quality, this level of generosity. Because it's not just about you, it's not just about me, it's about a community. And we have to go very slowly into that because it is very overwhelming. But it's also very inspiring. In some sense, unless we are overwhelmed, concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, we're not going to make progress. The progress that we make will be shallow. Okay, and I can't tell you how many teachers there are out there, how many long-time meditators there are out there, how many people are out there that just have very, very shallow progress. Sure, they have progress, sure, they have some success, but a very small degree of it. And when we talk about bringing Buddhism or bringing the enlightenment, the embodiment of these teachings to our American or our Western brothers and sisters and non-binary LGBTQ plus friends, it's going to take a lot more than that. And we have to have that inspiration. If we don't have that inspiration, it's not going to happen. Because it takes everything. You have to be as concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha as you are concerned with your smartphone, or as you are concerned with your job, or as you are concerned with your car. That's what it takes to become realized. Okay? And in this tradition, from this perspective, not just to become realized in a conditional sense for yourself, but to become realized in all kinds of situations, with all kinds of people, and all kinds of dynamics. And realization here means the knowledge, the wisdom of non-seeking. The wisdom, the knowledge of not being someone. Hey, you better watch out, boy. You better get out of town. You're not someone here. I'm going to beat you down. Not someone. Not someplace. Not some situation. Now, some teachers, they tell the I was just going over this with a sister of mine. Monastic Sangha, monastic community. I have brothers and sisters. And said, some teachers, they tell the truth at the beginning and then they start to lie. Another teacher I really love, enlightened teachers. They lie at the beginning and then they tell the truth. For me, I'm kind of whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I'm kind of like that Australian break dancer. Okay? There's a truth in every lie and there's a lie in every truth. That's the nature of duality. But the Buddha taught the right view. Even in that, right, the duality of right view and wrong view. Well, where does duality exist if there's not someone? If the Buddha taught no self, then if the Buddha taught no self, then where is duality in nature? There's no such thing as duality in nature. This is a good giraffe, that's a bad giraffe. Who? Who made that decision? So there's contradiction. There's a power of contradiction. Where's that power of contradiction? It's in nuclears. It's in the nuclears. It all goes together. It's deeper than a DMT trip. It's deeper than a bunch of mushrooms with your buddies in the forest. It's deeper than that. It's richer than that. It's more profound than that. For the Buddha, splitting the atom was nothing. That's smallpox for the Buddha, or monkeypox. It says they've got a situation in Africa right now. Be nice if we could go and give them pay reparations to Africa. Speak about the African Americans in America. When's Africa going to get their reparations? Now everybody's got to come to the table. We talk about reparations, we talk about America, we talk about the lunatic George Washington, the race criminal Benjamin Franklin. I mean, these are the worst of the worst people in the world. Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, these people are the worst in the world. Okay? The worst people you ever heard of in your life. You know, we give these people excuses because what? Because they were eating a lot of lobsters for cheap? That doesn't even make sense. So these are the worst people in the world. Well, when you start talking about reparations for Africa, now it's not just about George Washington and Benjamin Franklin, all these crazy people, these lunatics, okay, these evil men, okay? But you're going to have to get Macron at the table. You're going to have to get, the vice chancellor of Germany on the table, and Portugal. When are we paying reparations to Africa? Okay. So anyway, we're not going to be able to do anything without wisdom. And wisdom is detachment, or wisdom is generosity. The bones of Buddhism is the Sangha, and the marrow of the Sangha is generosity, just in the same way that the marrow of the Sangha is wisdom. Okay, no bones, no marrow. No marrow, those bones, they turn to dust very quickly. It's like that, isn't it? So scoot your boot to generosity. Scoot your boot to being concerned with wisdom, to having a trust in what the Buddha said. The Buddha said there's not someone. The Buddha said there's not someone, no self. Now, does that mean that McDonald's is closed down? Does that mean that all the McDonald's are closed down right now? That's not what it means. So it's not nihilism. But the Buddha taught that there's no self, that you are not someone, that I am not someone. Okay, McDonald's are still open 24/7. So, what does it mean for you, for this appearance of you, to be concerned with that? To be interested in that? To be contemplating that? Not alone in your room on Reddit. I thought about this. Okay, watching Dhamma talks is good, but how serious are you about this? And how much help do you need to digest this? That, oh, actually, you're not someone. We're planting seeds for a new community. It's time to wake up. We've got a chance for you and a chance for me to do all kinds of good deeds. Wake up. That's Joe Riley. Okay, you could listen to Joe Riley too. We've got a question. Anyone's welcome to ask questions while these incoherent ramblings are spiraling out of my mind. And don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to share, don't forget to tell your grandparents about Bonte Varapano's YouTube channel. All right, Dark Age Drenger. Hey Bonte, what are your thoughts on temporary novice or samanera ordination? It's great. It's a really good practice to do. it's not, it's not as developed as I would like for it to be. Like from my side, being able to offer that right now, but we can offer that right now. If you wanted to come to India and do that, it's completely possible. And in the future, as long as I can continue to stay alive and to stay alive in my monk life, that's going to be a priority for me to make that, that avenue and that route available for people to train with me and to practice with me, whether that's in Italy or Asia or even in America. Probably not in America, but there'll be more and more opportunities like that. But until then, don't make it a black and white. Don't make it a duality, right? You don't need to become a temporary novice. You don't need to become a samanera, but you could. You don't need to practice making donations, to practice volunteering, to practice service, to practice doing actions of generosity, but you could, you can. You don't need to follow 5 precepts, but you could, you can. You don't need to experiment with mindfulness. You don't need to experiment with listening to Dhamma talks or practicing meditation, but you could, you can. And that's probably a good idea to do that. Just like you don't need to take those amphetamines, or you don't need to take your full dose of medicine or whatever, but you can. Right? Thich Nhat Hanh said, if you start to follow this path seriously, you start to practice and take refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha seriously, you might still need that medicine for your broken brain. Join the club. But you might need less of it. And really, there's something very, very healing about being in community. Being in community that's concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And just, a kind of red alert reminder, there's no other community, there's no other dynasty of spirituality that has, been able to safeguard itself and continue itself in such a congruent way besides Buddhism. Buddhism is the greatest spiritual tradition of all time. The Sangha, the community of Buddhist monks and nuns, is the greatest community of yogis, of renunciates of all time. Period. Okay? What king has a dynasty still going 2,000 years after his death? There's only one person who has that, and that's the Buddha. Who has, there's only one person, that's the Buddha. Anyway, that's not a perfect thing, but it's true in a lot of ways. And we want to bring that, we want to establish the American community around that. So get involved. I was talking with people, and there's some other groups. I think one group's called an Open Sangha Collective or Foundation or something. When we approach Buddhism or we approach spirituality, there's an American issue, right? Where, okay, we need to be someone that goes to the yoga studio every week, or we need to be this self-enlightened bookworm, or we need to be a monk, or we need to be we need to be a part of an online community where we make comments and things like that. And that's not the right way to make use of Buddhism. Be a donor, be a volunteer, be an organizer, be a kappiya, be a yogi, right? Let's come together and fit ourselves into these roles where you can become a monk or a nun. You can become a volunteer. You can become a donor. You can become a responsible person for the Sangha. Right, for the Western Sangha, build more meditation centers, offer properties, offer all these kinds of things so that we can develop this. And so that this feeling of staying connected, being concerned with the Sangha, the Buddha, the Dharma, that's not all about are you a monk or not, or are you enlightened or not, or how much did you meditate today or not. Right? It's a community that has a lot of different aspects. A lot of different roles that can be stepped into. Now, when we stop and hey, start to notice the silence, or start to notice the kind of naturalness or the alreadiness of direct experiencing. It's a powerful place to be. It's a profound place to be. We notice where the tension is. But really, it's a kind of indescribable direct experiencing. Can't be put into a box, can't be objectified. It's a real noticing and a real happening. Real meaning it seems that way. That noticing is kind of alive, that happeningness is kind of alive. It is alive, isn't it? And this really deep barrier and a deep point for contemplation for those would-be Buddhists or those aspiring kind of serious practitioners is that it's not about pleasure. The truth is not concerned with pleasure. Freedom is not about pleasure. It's not about feeling good. It's deeper than that. In the same way, it's not about feeling bad. And we do need to go into it in a certain way where we have a curiosity, we have a comfortability. Otherwise, we won't be able to sustain that attention. But the practice isn't about pleasure. The truth is not about pleasure. The practice may be about deepening our sense of mindfulness and detachment, which leads to naturally a sense of peacefulness, a sense of bliss, right? Happiness. But that action of mindfulness isn't about pleasure. It's not about experiencing pleasure. It's not about getting pleasure. It's not about avoiding anything. That present moment action of mindfulness. It's kind of a leaning into that, the present actionness of mindfulness. And in terms of that meditation, I don't like a lockjaw meditation. I don't recommend a lockjaw meditation. We can do that when the energy's right. We can do that when we have a good context. It's kind of like an exercise, right? Like being healthy doesn't mean that you go for a jog every day, but if the good conditions are there to go for a jog, then that's an ideal thing to do. So the meditation should be fluid, should be natural, should be accessible at any time, any place. Oh, seeing meditation, hearing meditation, breathing meditation, bonte, shut up, meditation. Everything, everything, everything. Widening out, brightening out, refreshing out, cleansing out, purifying out. Freezing out. If anything, I like freezing meditation. Bring your hands up like this. It's like you're shocked, but there's no shockingness in the body. It's a stepped back awareness. Meditation doesn't need to be put into a box. Now, if that works for you, that's great, but there's already a lot of that going around. When we do good deeds, it's an act of meditation. When we use the toilet, it's an act of meditation. When we're sick, when we're eating, when we're indulging, when it's sleeping in, waking up early, when it's doing good, doing bad, doing right, doing wrong, everything is this moment for what? For the present moment action of mindfulness. That refreshing and restarting point, that responsibility point. Not the responsibility for someone and some story and some view and some opinion. Okay? That's the samurai and the pirate. I don't want to fight to the death with anyone, right? That's what that's for. But the one who holds the sword of truth, or rather concern with truth, like we said towards the beginning, that's a position of humbleness. It's a position of profundity, and it's a kind of absolute position. Is this direct experiencing? Is this the experience that you're having right now? Hey, right? Is this the experience that you're having right now? And then what is this? And then instead of dwelling on your opinion, maybe you stop. Because that's a direct looking, that's a direct experiencing. In the same way that when you drink water, you know that it's hot or you know that it's cold. That's a truth of direct experiencing. And that's very, very important. More important than, your opinions and your story about this situation. Because the idea that I am going to go over there is just nonsense. What is this body owed? This body isn't owed anything. What is this mind owed? This mind isn't owed anything. This is a body and mind of cause and effect. This is a body and mind of ever new impermanent nature. So what would Buddha do? And what should, what should we do at any time, at any moment? We should be concerned with the truth. And the awareness or the support that I'm feeling right now, I can't speak for Rose, I can't speak for the other people, anonymous people who are watching this, I can't speak for y'all. But the inspiration, the support that I'm feeling right now is, quote unquote, concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're sick, sometimes you're dwelling in your thoughts, you're depressed, you're anxious, etc., etc. But this is concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and that level of support is what we as practitioners should be concerned with, so that at moments like these, when we feel supported, we should practice mindfulness and detachment, concerned with the truth. And for that matter, we should do all kinds of good deeds with mindfulness and detachment, concerned with the truth. And we upflip the narrative where the poor and the sick and the disabled and the children and the war-torn peoples, are not to be exploited for making money for ourselves. They're to be exploited for making merits for all. And when there's an opportunity for making merits, that's great. When there's an opportunity for making money, well, that's selfish. That's a desire. Merits are the positive effects from doing good deeds for all. Making money is just selfishness, just grasping, accumulated greed, accumulated anger, accumulated tension, accumulated non-practical, complicated thinking. Money is accumulated poison. Okay? Merits are accumulated good deeds, effects from good deeds. So everyone, everything, every place, every time is to be used only and experienced only. And, before that, after that, to help you along in the path, doing good deeds with mindfulness and detachment. More and more and more. That's what the Buddha would do. That's what the Buddha did. And yes, meditation is the highest good deed, but it's tough stuff. And it's going to get a lot better as it gets worse. And you need to be able to deal with that. Because if we're living in heaven, or we're living as a deva, we're living in, comfortable land, how are we going to practice Buddhism seriously? How are we going to practice mindfulness and detachment seriously? Why would we want to detach? Why would we want to abandon? Why would we want to renounce? Why would we want to give anything away? If we're living in a high-rise apartment with a great bathtub and a great air conditioning system and a nice carpet and nice couch and a big screen TV, maybe a gaming system or something, multiple rooms, all this stuff, right? Why would we want to give anything up or help others? We're set. So we've got a pile drive. We've got to snowball into doing all kinds of good deeds with mindfulness and detachment, helping others, getting into the grit of our life, getting into the eating sand, right? We got to get some grit in our teeth. Because we're not going to get any grit into our belly. You're a grit person. A gritful person. When you've got grit in your teeth, you become a great person. Okay, when you've got grit in your teeth, you're doing something right. When you've got grit in your belly, you're doing a great job. Okay. So where's the grit? Where's the suffering? Where's the situation? It's right here. This is it. This is it. This is a happy moment. This is it. This is a wonderful moment. This is it. I have arrived at this moment, and the only moment is now. Practice seriously. This is a rare chance, a rare opportunity. No take-backs, no comebacks, no willy whirls, no tudas. Present moment experiencing. So that present moment isn't any point, it's an experiencing. The breathing doesn't have an in and an out. The breathing is a happening phenomena. Breathing in is not breathing in. Breathing out is not breathing out. That's just an idea. Look to the experience. Don't be shy about the experience of the body. That's okay, that's fine, that's all right. Well done, body. Okay, come on. And we may dwell in this natural awareness. If you've got a problem with the body, lay it down, put it down. Just like a grudge. Some people have a grudge with someone and that kind of comes back into the body. Okay, you have a grudge, you have a problem with the body, put it down. Lay her down, lay him down. Lay they them down. The body is a big sack of shit. A big sack of potatoes. So put it down in such a way that it's not about to fall down the stairs. It's not crooked or crutched up somewhere. It's just sitting there like the big sack of garbage that it is. And, you know, is garbage bad? Are you aggressive to garbage? Do you want garbage to suffer? No. Just place that big bag of garbage down. Body garbage bag meditation. And heck, give a bunch of kindness, give a bunch of love to that bag of garbage. But don't idealize it. Don't try to hang on to any part of that big bag of garbage that is so often called my body, your body. Why is it like a big bag of garbage? Because when we're using the things in the garbage, goes without saying. And when we're not using those things in the garbage, goes without saying. So we're not using the body now. We're using the body to throw away the body, to detach from the body, to abandon the body. Using the body to abandon the body, to forgive the body. If you forgive something, you forgive someone, that's about disappearing. That's about vanishing. Forgive the body. How much forgiveness do you have to offer to this big sack of garbage? And those thoughts, that's just garbage water, garbage smell. So it's there, but you're not drinking it, you're not huffing it, you're kind of using it. It's just like you're using the garbage to throw away the garbage. You're using that smell of garbage to keep detaching from the body, keep detaching from the mind. Meaning just aware and just forgiving, just releasing, just abandoning. Go deeply into it with awareness, whatever it is. Not getting involved, but penetrating with the mindfulness so that whatever is there can be detached from, can be forgiven, can be resolved with the involvement of the uninvolving. So when sitting in this way with the natural awareness, the body and mind are noticed as unsatisfactory, not worthwhile to cling to hold on to, and also as impermanent. Thoughts are arising and passing away, disappearing, and physical sensations in the body are also arising and passing away, disappearing. Whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, that's good, that's fine. Take care of yourself. Take care of the heart, body, mind. Don't fight or struggle. Don't complicate. Just be. And the more that you can just be with whatever arises, whatever is there, the mind of whatever, the more that you can just be with that, the more freedom that will establish itself in your life. If you can just be with anything, with everything, then freedom will follow you closer than a shadow. And that's our direction. That's what we're connecting to when we practice meditation. We might not get the full bright light, superhuman, enlightenment, but we're connecting with that wisdom. We're connecting with that principle. We're building up our fission reactor so that when the time comes, step by step, that atom will split and the light of enlightenment will enlighten us. All the garbage, all the nonsense, all the plans, expectations, stories, narratives, dialogues, diatribes, doctrines, perceptions, all of it, all of it, all of it, just summed up in this present moment experiencing. And in just being with this, just being with everything. Because where's everything if not here? Where is here if not nowhere in particular? Just awareness of the everything. The deeper you go, the more mindfulness you bring along with you. Penetrating right to the core of the heart, body, mind, direct experiencing. Not a story, not someone. Using the power of not someone, using the power of no self. Grounded, established in just. And experiencing, noticing this full spectrum of reality. Physical sensations, mental experience, all this, everything, 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 without fear, without control, that is kind of natural to this direct experiencing. Watching very, very closely as the mindfulness is allowed to be mindfulness. As the breathing is allowed to be breathing. As the body being experienced is allowed. A light with mindfulness and detachment. There's no story here, there's no someone. No something, no plot, no plan, no ideology, just experiencing. Even no in-breath, no out-breath, just breathing. One fluid, direct experience, breathing. Zoning in to the widening out of mindfulness and detachment. Mindfulness as not someone. mindfulness of not something. Past is an illusion, concept, nonsense. Future as well, an untold non-story. Untold and nuclear fission. No story in it, no conceptuality. No someone, no place, no time. No certainty about anything because there's no thing to speak of. And if there is a thing to speak of, detach from that, abandon to that, forgive to that, offer that thing the ending, offer that thing the everything that is not something already. Let the body burn. Let the mind break down into water. Notice the space in between the sensations and recognize it as forgiveness. The forgiveness of spaciousness. Notice how much silence there is inside of sensationality. Okay, we can slowly open our eyes if they're closed. Start to move our body a little bit. Mindful of not thinking, mindful of not someone, mindful of not some place, not some situation, but still that direct experiencing. Train in such a way to develop your relationship with just direct experiencing. And if you feel the need to do something besides that, practice dana, practice generosity, recollect the precepts, do more meditation, do good deeds, listen to Dhamma talks, get more and more concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. I have arrived. in the here and in the now. I am solid. I am free. I am solid. I am free. I am free. In the ultimate I dwell. In the ultimate I dwell. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now, in the now. So that's a big point, and a big teaching that I want to share with people is that we've got to get creative about all this. In a wholesome way, in an inspired way, in a contemplative way that really does value sacrifice, really does value renunciation, really does value profound, deep, rich generosity. Because this isn't just for us. This is for the children, this is for the people of the world, and as much as we can, we should try to do more than we can. We should dare to do more than we can in all kinds of different ways around this, around the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, around the enlightenment path, concerned with the truth. So we will continue on. And at this time, if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask or they'd like to share their experience, please feel welcome to do so. And for the people that do get a lot of value from these teachings, you are welcome to support me in my monk life by making a contribution, whether it's a one-time or monthly contribution through, we have a few different ways that you can donate. We have Patreon and also PayPal, so please feel welcome to support if you feel inspired and supported by this work. And I know some people already do donate, and it's very helpful. The infrastructure for Western monks is not as established as it is for Asian monastics, so a lot of the work that I do and being able to do that work independently is through the support of this community primarily. So your support is greatly appreciated and valued. Dark Age, speaking about attending a Rinzai Zen monastery retreat next month. My advice for you is to go there and do your best and have fun. Don't take it too seriously. And if you'd like, you can contact me and we can have a call. You know, if you have some concerns or you have some questions about coming into a retreat like this, you're welcome we can set up a time for a private meeting, private practice meeting, if you'd like. And the same goes for anyone. If you ever feel that you have something serious to talk with me about, we can set up a time to talk on Skype or Discord or any number of ways to have a private practice interview. Any other questions? Also, you can share your experience, you can say hello. Any question is okay, any kind of question. And we don't just ask questions for ourselves, but very, very often the questions that one person asks, especially if that person is a practitioner, someone who has some experience, some depth of sincerity, the question that they ask, that answer can actually benefit a lot of people. So when we do have the chance to ask questions, if there is one that coming from the heart, don't be shy to share that or think that it's selfish, like your question isn't worthwhile to be answered. A lot of times it can benefit others as well. I'm not very difficult to get in contact with. Maybe not difficult enough. Maybe I need to be more exclusive, but whether it's through Discord or my Facebook or my WhatsApp number, Let me see, I don't think I can write a comment here. No, I can't write a comment. Baby, don't hurt me no more. That's love. That song isn't just a Night at the Roxbury thing. That song is true. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. And realizing that this whole shebang, the whole body, the whole mind, everything, the bones, the pus, the muscle, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind, everything, material and mental, name and form, all of it, that's your baby. One-to-one, direct contact, no avoidance. And love is saying, don't hurt me no more. And to really say that is to embody that, to mean that. Baby, don't hurt me no more. And so you can't just ask for that without living through that, Live in a way where you're mindful enough to stop making these problems for yourself, mindful enough to stop making these problems for other people. That's love. That's true love. Okay, if anyone wants to get in contact with me, you can use that information. Okay, so we'll wrap up today. The only problem is the problem that you make up in your mind, making up problems. That's the only problem. So we'll wrap up today with a short writing, a Zen writing from Pai Chang. And then we will go into repentance chant. Then we will go into paying homage to the Buddha and taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And then we will go into sharing the merit, and then we will finish with 3 sadhus, okay? So first, this writing, this Zen writing, Progressive Realization is titled. These are some of the most profound teachings in spirituality, so try to listen in the appropriate way. Each form, each particle is a Buddha. One form is all Buddhas. All forms, all particles are all Buddhas. All forms, sounds, sense, feelings, and phenomena are also like this, each filling all fields, each complete. This is the gross within the subtle. This is a good realm. This is the cognition and perception of all those in progress. This is the exit in life and entrance in death of all those in progress, crossing over everything existent and non-existent. This is what is spoken of by those in progress. This is the nirvana of those in progress. This is the unexcelled way. This is the spell that is peer to the peerless. This is the foremost teaching, considered the most profound of all teachings. No human being can reach it, but all enlightened ones keep it in mind. Like pure waves able to express the purity and pollution of all waters, their deep flow and expansive function. All enlightened ones keep this in mind. If you can be like this all the time, no matter what you are doing, then the body of pure, clear light will be revealed to you. And that's really what we're all in this for. We're in this for the body of pure, clear light to be revealed to us. And in the way of having the body of pure, clear light revealed to us, it's a wonderful practice to repent. You've done a lot of horrible things. I've done a lot of horrible things, even subtle, even things that we didn't know about, we didn't notice that they were wrong or right. But you know who's the biggest headache maker in life? It's you. It's me, right? Ourselves. So the repentance practice is very helpful, very nourishing, and I invite you to join me together in listening or chanting along with me. Oh, my ancient, twisted karma, born of beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, formed of body, speech, and mind. I now fully atone. 3 times. All my ancient twisted karma, born of beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, formed of body, speech, and mind, I now fully atone. All my ancient twisted karma, born of beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, formed of body, speech, and mind, I now fully atone. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Okay, we'll share the merit together. So you can bring your hands together like me in the wholehearted position. And repeat after me as we share the merits. May all the merits we have accumulated until now be dedicated and shared out towards all beings. May all those beings receive and rejoice in these merits. May these merits continue to help others on the path of enlightenment. May all beings support us on this path to enlightenment. May we support all beings on the path to enlightenment. May it be. May it be. May it truly, truly be. Sadhu. Sadhu. Thank you for joining me in this Dhamma talk and meditation and time for a few question and answers. May you be well and feel supported and feel nourished on this journey. May you know that we walk this path alone together. I'm very happy you are here for me, and I hope that you know that I am here for you. Namaste, namaste.